7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ACG, where we're just a couple gamers. It's your boy Smooth.
Hello guys, this is Smash.
And we are back with another War Elite episode. Guys, tonight is a little bit exciting, but also a little bit sad. We're going to talk about the state and the future of Server 8, our newest server in War Elite, and we have a lot to talk about. But before we do anything else, I'm going to let Smash say hi to you guys so I can get this link out.
Hello guys, I'm from Server 6, Smash. So I believe there's a lot going on in Server 8, and there's actually a lot of you actually wanting to keep playing the game but looking for a new home. I'm welcoming everybody who wants a new home to come to Server 6.
Yeah, so what's up with that? What can we just go ahead and talk about again for a lot of people that missed it, because I know a lot of people do not understand what's going on in Server 8. Can you give a breakdown of what's going on in Server 8, why it's happening, and what type of outcome this is going to have on the server?
Alright, for me personally, what I felt that with the information that I get from Server 8 is that there's too many players with ego issues. Right? They wanted to run the server the way they wanted, and the top few alliance didn't manage to come to any sort of agreement. And I believe there was a lot of drama going on in the server, like people fighting, hitting on other players' cities, right, killing off players, troop farming. So in the end, I believe something like a mini kind of a civil war broke out or what. So it kind of like made other players feel very insecure to be part of the server. So practically a lot of people, I think some of them might quit, but as you guys know, you guys can actually have another option, which is migrate to some older server, whereby they are more stable, there's not so much drama. But on the downside, it will be a bit slightly more boring for you guys. But even if your level is at mentioned is level 16 and above, if you migrate to the older server, you guys will have the chance to play the server versus server. So it's something that you guys can look forward to. And with the older players in the older server, I guess that they are all very happy to actually accept you guys into their server, and then help you guys grow.
So what you're saying is, for those of you who don't know about server migration, is you don't have to leave the game. The developers have put in a server migration feature into the game, where if you're not happy with your current server, all you have to do is figure out how, if you don't know how already, to migrate. And there are plenty of active, friendly, awesome alliances out there, guys, that would love to take you in and love to teach you the game and give you the type of playing environment that you've been looking for. There really is something for everybody out there. So I don't want you guys to think that just deleting the game is the answer. It is not the answer, guys. Okay? There are just so many great players, Smash being one of them, Ashy Bashy, you got Salty Dog, you got Machiavelli, you got Penguin, you got all types of awesome, you got Vadim, you got all types of awesome players out there, guys. And listen, one thing I would love to say is this. As a longtime player of these types of games, one thing that excites me more than anything else is finding players that are new to the game and seeing how excited they get when they actually fall in love with the game. I know that there's veteran players like Smash and people like him that it just excites them and does something to them when a new player finds this game and they're asking for help, and Smash gets to teach them things and live vicariously through these new players. Okay, for a veteran player like Smash, that's everything. So keep that in mind, guys. But to get back on track, so can you better explain what's going on in Server 8? I know that you're saying that there's like players that are just attacking people for no reason type thing, and players that really don't have an interest in the longevity of server 8. They're playing for right now instead of playing for a year from now. Can you explain a little bit more in detail what's going on, who's doing what, and because I still don't quite understand.
All right. What they are going through is actually what the older server went through in the past when the older server first started. It's the same thing happening all over again. Right. First is the capital. Right. The strongest alliance will want to have control over the capital.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have control over the server. Right.
Right.
There's only one alliance that in the beginning stage there might probably be a couple of alliances that's strong enough to go against each other, and they didn't come to an agreement. You mean I get like, for example, they did not come with an agreement like the rotation of the kingship. For example, A alliance will hold kingship for one period of time until the next reset. Then B alliance will hold the kingship.
Right.
I do believe they did send out a mail regarding this, but they were talking about the officers that will be given they'll be giving the officers title to certain players from different alliance, but they are not talking about kingship.
What are they talking about?
So it's like they will be giving away the what you so called the officers that can give out titles from the capital.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so they are giving up the titles, like for example, the queen, the general, the diplomat, right, the judge, the duke, these three queen, general, and diplomat to different alliance. They will have a representative to be placed inside, so that they can help give out the titles to players within their own alliance or the server asking for titles. Right, so that was one step that I read through the mail that Aship actually shared previously with us. So they actually, but they are not talking about the kingship. So it's like now I'm the alliance of A alliance, and you are the alliance of B alliance. All right. Mm-hmm. But our members do not really have trust between the two leaders. That means your members do not trust me as a king in the server, and my alliance member do not trust you being the king of the server.
So it's just basic distrust between the top two alliances, and they're not agreeing on anything? So they're not agreeing on anything, or they're not trying to agree on anything?
It's trust issue is like regarding the kingship, because the king is the one ultimately being able to allow players to actually come into the kingdom or not allow any players to come into the kingdom. So they already took the capital, and they're not willing to negotiate with anybody. They're just doing whatever they want to do. Yep. And the other alliance is like they're not happy. Of course, the smaller alliance, they cannot voice out their issues, probably because they are not heard of. They are not being heard by the so-called council of the server.
Mm-hmm.
Because the council in the server are people that the king select. He's like, I like this player. He's helping me a lot. It's like on personal issue, based on a personal liking. I like this player, so I let him be in the council.
Are you serious?
I think it's something like that.
Wow.
I believe this is what actually happened.
That's crazy. Okay. So they took the Capitol building. They've retained ownership of it. They're not negotiating with any of the other alliances, not even the one that's second in power and ranking, right? Like the second strongest alliance. And so the king of the server, the person who is in charge of that alliance, the person who has taken the capital, now has access to allowing players into the server, whoever really that they choose, right? Like they can control who they comes in and out. Okay, so
for example, I can just go and talk to the king of the server, and with my power, I actually need them to invite me to go in.
Okay.
Right, but with me nearing 200 million power to go into a new server, I might commit, okay, the moment I come into your server, I will protect your whole alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have the ability to do so.
Right, right. And so,
But it will not be fair to the other alliance.
right, exactly. And so can you, in your own words, can you tell me the difference between how you manage the capital responsibilities compared to how they're managing the capital responsibilities?
Right, for server 6, we are actually kind of more of a one alliance server. So it's actually pretty easy to manage.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to compare it to the previous game that I'm playing, we have like multiple, like we will have 2 main alliance and maybe 4 sub-alliance. So it's actually a 6 alliance kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do, right, is that we have all these 6 alliance that is actually fighting for the kingdom to form a council.
Mm-hmm.
Alright? And we will vote for one king that everybody respects and everybody is willing to sit down and listen and talk to each other.
Right.
So we will select one king. But if there's some players who feel that they want to have a rotation, then we will do a kingship rotation.
Okay, so you rotate appropriately the way that
Yes.
it's supposed to. Okay. And when it comes to allowing players in and out of the server, what are you doing differently compared to server 8?
Alright, for right now, server 6 we can practically allow any of the younger players that want to come for server 6, I mean, any of the younger players that wants to come on to the server 6 and carry on playing the game, enjoying the game, growing in the game, we can practically just accept anybody
Mm-hmm.
from the newest for the newer players, because they will not be able to pose a threat to the server. With me,
Right.
with Penguin, with Reggie, and the rest of the people that's in server 6, we will not have this fear of having people coming in to try to sabotage the kingdom.
So do you think that they're going to purposefully let people in that they're friends with from other servers? And that's why the
This
other
was one of-
alliances are pissed?
This was one of the concerns that the other alliance were worried about, which is why they did not actually manage to come to agreement.
Got you.
I'm talking about INV. They were the top alliance in server 8. Alright? Second was Ace Alliance. They was the second strongest alliance in server 8. But they have a couple of players that is growing very quickly.
Okay, so
if
you're
I were
saying...
in INV,
Wait, what?
so if I was in AMV, I want to make sure that I have control over the server. I would do it a way that I would allow other older player with better power to come into the server and to protect us. Because I know that my alliance, we don't have spenders that's growing quickly, but my second top alliance, they have players that's growing very quickly. I would allow a stronger player to come into the server and protect the alliance from the second alliance top players.
So what you're saying is that INV, Invictus family, took the capital and most likely are going to allow a whale to come into the server, join their family, and help to keep control of the server, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And this is a huge
what
possibility.
Yes.
So what can be done about this, if anything? And if nothing can be done, what type of detrimental effects is this going to have on the server?
It's gonna kill the server, man.
Damn.
Right, because when the capital is up for there's a reset for the capital for after a period of time. There's always a counter timer. So what happens is that if let's say I'm in the second alliance server And I have this worry about the top alliance, I mean the king allowing other older players to join the server, which I'm in. I would definitely try to fight and get the capital building and get control so that I can prevent this from happening.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you.
When fight like this begin, the younger players or the weaker players, they cannot withstand this kind of constant fighting. What happened then? They quit.
So, are they? What are they saying? What is the latest from the number one alliance? Like, are they communicating? Are they talking to anybody?
I'm not sure because I haven't heard from my friend from Server 8 for quite some time. I believe he also gave up.
Wow. Okay. Well, what was the last thing that you heard? As far as what that alliance was telling the rest of the server.
Okay, the last thing I heard was from him was that from how he shared with me, it was trust issue. There was no trust between the top 3 alliance.
Okay.
Okay. Invictus they trust Dawn, but they don't trust Ace. Ace doesn't trust Invictus and Dawn.
Okay, so that's. Let me just bring up the alliance power. So, you're saying Ace doesn't trust Invictus and who else?
Dawn, D-O-N. They used to be the third alliance in the server.
Okay. Okay, so there's this distrust amongst all of the top alliances.
Yes.
What type? So you're saying that there was just no trust. Was there reasons why? Did he give any reasons for like what they were doing previous to taking the capital that created the distrust, or did the distrust happen after they took the capital?
It happens even before they took the capital.
Did he explain why?
Alright, from the story that he heard from the older players, because he wasn't there on the very beginning stage. So from the story that he heard from the other older players in the alliance that he was in the second top alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So he was telling me that the top alliance, which is Invictus, was trying to dictate the server.
Oh, so early on, INV was already dictating stuff.
Yep, this is what the players in Ace felt.
Okay.
But this issue wasn't settled at the very beginning stage, and it grew.
Wait, what grew?
It was probably because Ace was trying to communicate with IMV or whatever for certain concerns that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I think they weren't able to come to an agreement in the beginning stage. So things didn't go according to what Ace was looking for. And instead, it was always what IMV wanted. How IMV wanted the server to be run, how IMV intend to run the server, so on and so forth.
Okay. I think I'm starting to see a broader picture here. I'm starting to get an understanding of why things are the way that they are right now. From your personal experience in this game and other games, what can be done? Is it too late?
For the game like in War Elite, is quite damaging because we do not have a huge influx of players constantly playing the game, joining the game. So it is actually quite damaging for the new server. Right? Of course, this is a fighting game. We do understand that there are going to be fights going around in the server, right? Be it in the beginning stage or when it's more or less, especially in the beginning stage, because of trying to occupy more resource point for the alliance, so that the alliance member and the alliance can grow faster. So these are things that it cannot be avoided, right? So fighting actually will happen, but the top alliance have to really work together if they really want to go far in this game, right? Because when they are not able to work together, they will eventually kill off the game, and they will end up to be like the old server.
Let me ask you this. The players that are the top players in this server right now, do you think they're from an older server, or are they from a different game? Are they new? Do you have any information on this?
Some of them. I think majority of them are new.
Are new?
Of course, there's also older players with their new accounts in the server. And I do believe that this older server did also share about how to actually protect the server from dying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that it doesn't goes into these new players' ears. They are not listening.
You said they're not listening?
Yep. Because my friend was one of them, because he had the experience with me in the previous game that we played.
Mm-hmm.
So when he joined the server, he was sharing with me all these things. I said, then tell them what you actually do to what will happen if they keep going on like this. So I think he tried, but nobody listens. So I think that kind of like kill off his interest for the game.
That makes me really sad, dude. That makes me really sad, because if these guys that are responsible for doing this, if they're from an older server and they're doing this knowingly, knowing that it's having horrible effects on everybody and could possibly be a contributing factor to the decline of the game, that's really messed up. Like really, really messed up.
As we all know, we can't control how other people want to play the game. We can only share with them what the outcome will be if they insist on doing things the way they wanted.
It makes me so sad, bro.
Even in our podcast, we are always sharing why people should work together in a game.
Yes. Yes.
You all should be looking forward to the server versus server. That should be the ultimate goal of every new server that's opening up, every top alliance in the new server. You have to start to work together as a unit and prepare yourself for the server versus server.
I think that's what messes with me so much, is knowing that if these players that are doing this are from an older server, they know the importance of server versus server, right? They know this. So why would you want to, like, what do they have to gain from destroying this server?
For me, I personally feel that they have been in the game for quite some time, but they didn't get to a stage whereby they are being recognized in the game.
Oh,
it's more of like a status kind of feeling. You know?
Yeah, so you think this is their retribution for not being noticed in their older servers?
Yep.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's not the way to do it. I can tell you that. Definitely not the way to do it. Do you think that if older veteran players from older servers were to reach out to these players and try to explain to them why what they're doing is wrong in so many ways, do you think they would listen?
I don't think so.
Why?
I think the grudges that they have with each other, between the players is already pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
So even my friend who actually told me that when he looked back into the game in the past, he said that he saw people announcing their retirement from the game in the World Chat.
Wow.
So if I were a new player who just joined the game, and I read the word chat, I wouldn't know the drama that happened in the past. How I would actually think was that there must be something wrong with the game. If not, why are there so many people picking? And as a new server, I wouldn't have know about our podcast, the game podcast, right? And even if some of the new players they know, they wouldn't have the patience to go and look back, to trace back to episode 1 and start watching it from the start. So it's like they are getting a lot of misinformation just by seeing whatever that's going on in the server itself.
Right. Well, let me ask you this question. I asked this on my last episode. It seems to me like these games that I love so much, that I end up being sponsored by or making content for, I find these games too late. I really do. And I see the impact that we have, even if it's on a few people. I see the positive impact, and I do think to myself all the time, what if I found the game when it first opened? Where would we be right now?
They would be much different, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Things
Because
would definitely be different.
why do you think the game would be different if we started this podcast when it first opened?
Right. If let's say when we started out this podcast in the beginning, and we have a developer sending one of their guys in to explain the game, it would really help a lot of things.
How would it change things?
Because of course, when the game first started, even if I was here on the very first day when the game first launched, I wouldn't have the kind of knowledge that I have at that point of time. I wouldn't know what to talk about the couple. I wouldn't know what to talk about. Totally, I know nothing about the game. I'm just only playing the game as well. But if let's say you are doing the podcast, but there's actually a developer in the podcast working as your co-host to explain to the new players about what is this building function for, what is certain items used for. It will actually help the new players who actually just started playing the game and are paying attention to the podcast. A great help.
Yeah.
Right. At the beginning stage, once they start the game, they will start advertising your podcast so that new players in the game trying to learn the game will come to your podcast and listen.
Right.
So it actually helps the game grow faster. Of course, it will be also better when the developers are in the podcast and then sharing what are the future events that they are going to be holding.
Yeah, that too.
It gets the players anticipating for the event. Of course, they don't have to necessarily share in the whole detail. Just a brief idea on, like, for example, what are we going to do for the next server versus server? What can the player be looking forward to?
It's so true, dude. It's so true. I mean, I think to myself too, like, what if I wasn't me? What if I was a regular player and somebody was doing a podcast like this? Like, the detrimental positive impacts that it would have on a new player or somebody that was just excited about the game, that was ready to learn about the game, from players that were also excited about the game and wanted to teach somebody. Like, I think to myself all the time, like, why do I find these games so late? Why can I never find a game when it first opens and do everything I possibly can from the time it opens until it ends? Like, I wanna have that experience. I need that, because I feel, you know what, and I hate to compare it to things that are so real life, but it's like a doctor who, a patient comes in and they're really sick with something, but the doctor catches it early, right? Instead of catching the person with the sickness late.
With a stage cancer.
Yes, bro. Like, I hate to compare it to that. I really do, but it's very similar. If you're somebody like myself who is willing to take unlimited amounts of time and effort and put it into a game to try and make improvements in any way possible. It's so much the same as a doctor finding somebody with a sickness early rather than late, because you might not be able to cure it, but it'll live longer and have a much happier life.
Yep, correct.
And that's really my hopes, is that it's not too late, and that people will listen to this and they'll understand why we're saying the things that we're saying and doing the things that we're doing. And I just want to make a difference and a positive impact on people's lives that are so invested in this game. I don't know, bro.
Alright, for people who are listening to the podcast, be it whether you are playing War Elite or something similar to War Elite, it might be a new game. The game never stopped at the first stage.
Right.
Games like this always progress through. So when you guys are playing similar games like this, be prepared and don't be because of I want to have control of the server, or I want to be the king of the server or queen of the server. I want to dictate it. I want to be a dictator. I want to have the final say of how the kingdom should be. Be whether you have experience from other games that you have or not. It doesn't matter, because you don't know how the game will progress after that stage.
Yep.
What are the other events that the developers are actually going to be coming out with? And does your decision at that time, wanting to be the king of the server, help you or your kingdom in the future stages? So what happened now? If it's a new game, everybody goes in, same thing happened, everybody try to be the king. Every top alliance try to be the king of the server. They start fighting each other, and then after they become the king, players start leaving the game. Then later it came out like something like the server versus server. Oh my god, you're only left with one alliance with, let's say, 20 players. What can you do? What kind of gaming experience or enjoyment can you get from 20 players playing a server versus server?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I understand the want to hit somebody else's city. I understand the want of having a competitive atmosphere within a war game. I get that. But there has to be checks and balances, and there has to be a fine line between doing what's enjoyable for you now and then doing what's enjoyable for you a year from now. Because the way this is going, there is not going to be a year from now for this server.
Yep.
And if there is, it's a very, very depressing one.
For server 8, they are already starting to decline to the stage whereby they are going to be like the old server, like server 5, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They are moving so near towards it already now.
So, at the end of the day, bro.
Because to me, a lot of similar games like now, the SLG games, they will always have something huge coming up after a new server open. It's always never going to be just you being in one server and that's it. After you become the king of the server and that's it. No, it doesn't stop there. This is what I'm trying to get across to every new player or the developers or other games or whatever. We know that you guys don't stop there because it has been a trend. Every time a new SLG came out, it will be the similar thing. You guys go to any other game, you will see the similar thing. People will be fighting, killing each other, and then when they become the king of the server or the leader of the server, and suddenly there's a huge decrease of players.
Yep.
Because I'm being killed. I don't wish to waste time spending money and play this game anymore. And then they start to regret. Oh, we shouldn't be doing this, because when the next event come out, they know that we actually need more players. Then they start to go through the regret phase. Oh, we shouldn't be doing this in the past, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, bro.
It's too late.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it comes down to. A year from now. I hope that somebody hears this in Server 8 that has even minimal influence on these people. You guys have to understand that you had an advantage on being in Server 8. You had a huge advantage to the future of your gaming. When it comes to server versus server, Server 8 is supposed to be leading by example. Server 8 is supposed to be showing Server 9, 10, and 11 how it's supposed to be done. Server 8 is supposed to be showing 9, 10, and 11 what they're not supposed to be doing, so that way they can be as successful as Server 8. And what we're looking at right now is Server 8 being the weakest server out of the 4 that are, scheduled to open.
Yep.
And you knowing what you know now, looking back, if you're Server 8 a year from now and Server 9, 10, and 11 has opened, what type of detrimental disadvantages will Server 8 have when it comes to server versus server?
The only thing I can share is that Server 8 will only have one advantage, which is they might have more power compared to the newer server.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, let me warn Server 8, you never know whether the younger server will have another wheel or like Vadim.
Yep.
Or like Hamster in Server 7. You never know. This players like us, we can grow like crazy. It's just a matter of whether we want to do it or not.
Right.
So even if you have the time frame advantage, you can never predict whether they will have a huge whale in their server that can actually help lead their server to fighting your server.
So
I have the power advantage, but the newer server, they will have the numbers advantage. And when the server that has number advantage, they tends to win the server versus server.
this has got me feeling some type of way right now. And I say that because I look at players like Vadim, who, and you, who put so much time and money into a game, and you want to see it do its absolute best. And when you have things like this happening inside the game, when the game is at the state that it's in, it really does something to you, because it's doing something to me right now. You know, I really feel bad for these players, because when you put as much time and money into this game as players like you and Vadim have, you look towards the future of this game and you think, what's next? If the rest of the servers have these same problems that Server 8's having, as early as they're having these problems, it doesn't give a lot of the veteran players hope. Because the only thing that these veteran players have really to look forward to is new content. And if these new servers aren't thriving, the content's not coming. Because why would it? Why would you continue to upgrade your house when the neighborhood value is decreasing by the day? It's just not a smart investment. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is the bottom dollar. If this game's not making money, this game's not going to get the improvements that we so need it to get. So I really urge these people, think about the future of the game. Think about the players that are going to come after you. And you could really make a difference now. It's crazy that we have to have these conversations in games, but in games like this, these conversations are so crucial. If you have one message to the people who are running Server 8 right now, what would you say?
Stop fighting among yourself and come to an agreement. And work towards server versus server as one server. Don't put your individual preference in front. Don't put your alliance benefit in front. You guys have to work as one server. The whole server benefiting together as one. Because the rewards that you are going to get from server versus server is so much more better than what you'll get on daily from the game itself. From the events that we're getting on a regular basis in the game. Server versus server is what is keeping us old players holding on to the game, because it really the reward is really so fantastic. Right, as I did share before, only during server versus in the past, before even when you can buy the hero legendary medal, there was no way she could upgrade her legendary hero. Now the game has progressed to you can buy the legendary hero medal from the VIP shop, and you can also get this from the sea battles and the island wall. So the game is improving, making it easier and easier for the younger players to actually grow in the game. But what you guys are doing right now, you are not only killing the game, you are killing yourself. Because you will not get to fulfill because I believe every player that plays a game like this, they have a goal set for themselves. What they want to achieve in the game. Before they finally decide, okay, that's it.
That's a good point. So you think these players came in here with a motive?
Yes. I believe every player, when they play a game like this, they have some goals that they want to achieve within them. For example, I want to be in one of the top alliance, being able to contribute to the alliance in fight. Fighting for the alliance. Then there's definitely, but there's nothing for you to fight for if there's no one in the game to play with you.
That's true. Very true. What do you think their motive was?
They probably just get the thrill of maybe fighting for a week. But a week of fighting is enough to kill the game in the new server. Then after that, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be playing Farmville.
Yeah.
Farming. Is that what you guys want? And then you guys will start to come and complain, this game is boring.
That's so crazy to think about, bro. That's crazy to think that somebody could come into a server like this knowing exactly how this whole thing plays out and still do what they're doing. That's crazy to me. But it's only crazy because, like you said, a year from now, 20 players, server versus server, what are you doing? There's nothing you can do.
What can you do? You can't even fight.
No, you can't. You can't. The odds of having, even if you had 20 players, a year from now, those 20 players, do you really think that they're gonna log in to do a server versus server knowing that they only have 20 players and the other servers have 100 each? No. What are you gonna do? Bro, you're not, I'm sorry, but you're screwed. You're screwed.
Yep.
Like Smash said, you're screwing yourself.
And they probably be only able to send out 1.5 rally every time they try to fight.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. Like, that's crazy.
You're not even able to send out 2 max rally, yeah? Let me tell you.
Yeah, no, you're not, bro. That's crazy to me. Oh, well, look, man. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this this server 8 account. I'm gonna copy and paste a message to all the people, the top 100 players, and I'm gonna beg them to come on the show. I want to get somebody, anybody from server 8 to come on here. I don't care if you just started yesterday. If you want to be the eyes and the ears for this podcast in server 8, you want to, you know, you don't have to come on camera. I just need to know what's going on there from somebody who's on the inside. I would like to keep tabs and, you know, keep giving reports, and if the situation gets worse, I want to know. If it gets better, I want to know. And I really hope everybody has taken something from this in a positive light instead of a negative light. And I hope that we can shed enough light on this topic to make a difference. And I want to thank our sponsors for sponsoring this content. You guys are absolutely amazing. iFun Games has done so much for us, and we really appreciate you guys. And I hope that the War Elite community will help us band together and maybe make a difference. And I hope you guys like this content. If you guys do, and you guys want to join the community, you can find the link for the Discord or the Facebook for War Elite in the description of this video. If you guys would like to join the game, you guys like what you see, definitely click on the link in the video and get the game from that link. It's going to let the company know that you guys found it here. And we're not going to go away, guys. We're going to keep giving you the content that you want. And I do apologize, it's been a little bit lackluster here lately, but I'm going to get back into the swing of things. And I appreciate all of you. Smash, you're absolutely amazing, bro. I could not do this without you, and I really appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. I also hope that the community can benefit from our podcast. And there's so much thing that the game is doing right now. It's improving, right? But we really need more players.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not the end yet. For players that is on the verge of considering whether they are giving up or they are not giving, whether they want to give up or not, you always have a second option. Right. It's not only available for the older players; it's also available for the new players.
Yeah.
Buy yourself another. Right. The game haven't reached the final stage yet. There's still so many other events that they are planning to come up with. That you guys for older players and new players, which we haven't even really get to experience it. So don't give up yet. Give this game some more time and some chance, and give yourself another chance. Find yourself a new home.
Yes.
Right. The older servers are definitely open for players who wants to keep playing the game and keep growing. It's not the end yet. The end will only come when the developers say, okay, we're going to stop the game.
Yep.
That's the end.
And we are not going to stop until the fat lady sings, ladies and gentlemen. We will be here for you guys. You know, whenever you guys need us, just come find us in the War Elite Discord. You can always find us in the live streaming tab. We love you, War Elite community. We're going to keep giving you guys the content, and we love the feedback, and we appreciate the support. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, Smash. That was a good one.
Am I being a bit too harsh on the podcast?
What's that?
Am I being a bit too emotional in my speech, in the podcast?
No, bro, not at all. Not at all.